Hey friends, I hope you had an awesome weekend. Saturday was a hot one. It was a hot one for my birthday. And yesterday, well, no, it's today. I'm talking to you on Sunday, but I'm figuring you're watching this on Monday. So Sunday was lovely. It was such a nice relief from how hot and humid Saturday was. I hope you all had a really wonderful weekend. My friends and family surprised me with a birthday parade, like I'm a little kid. They really surprised me. They got me big time. I was outside doing yard work and my brother honked the horn and scared the heck out of me, and then I started crying. It was so very sweet. So if you've had a chance to be a part of a birthday parade during quarantine, or maybe you had one yourself, I know Austin did, um, you should feel really special if you were part of one, because this birthday parade made me feel really, really special. And you all made me feel really, really special. Thank you for the beautiful letters that you wrote me in Writer's Workshop on Friday. So anyways, I will see you all on Wednesday on Zoom, but we're going to keep going with the one and only Bob. We're on to section 3. Moving along. Loving this book. Okay, looking. Ivan used to ask me what I did when I wasn't hanging out at the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. I wasn't like the rest of the animals, caged, trapped. I told him I was scrounging for food, and he never questioned it. When you think about it, though, where's a better place to find food than the floor of a mall at the end of a day? Yeah, I wasn't looking for food. I was looking for her, for boss. What if? At first, I didn't admit it to myself. You know how it is when you wish for something so bad you're afraid to say it out loud, because what if it never happens? It was like that. I knew the odds were crazy long. I knew I was nuts. And yet, I went out day after day searching for her. Next chapter is 6. There had been 6 of us in the litter, so why was I only looking for her? Because it was her bark I'd heard after the box landed, even after the trucker had passed. I heard it, a whimper, bark, howl, cry, something I've never heard since. She survived, at least at first. I survived. The rest of them didn't. Relieved. And what did I do when I heard that bark? Did I run toward it? Did I try to find her, to save her? No. No. I was just a few weeks old, helpless, useless. The cries stopped almost as soon as they'd started. And you know what? Part of me was relieved. I didn't want to have to go back onto that highway. I couldn't bear wanting to rescue her and not knowing how. I didn't want to see her die. But mostly, I was afraid. Coward. I was afraid. A coward. There's a certain freedom that comes with owning your faults. That means, boys and girls, when you talk about what's wrong with yourself, your weaknesses, your faults, there's a certain freedom. Sometimes it feels good to say it. So he's admitting he was scared, and it feels good to get that out. The wind. Every day I went looking for Boss, up and down that same barren stretch of highway. Sometimes I'd catch a hint of something hopeful on the air and think it was my sister's scent. I'd be certain the breeze had brought me her voice like an invisible gift. The wind can really mess with your head. Totally connecting to the one and only Ivan when Ivan talked about Tag, remember? Growing up. Because now Bob is talking about Boss, his sister from the litter of 6. Enough. After a while, I stopped going to the highway, stopped looking. It was a relief to give up. I had enough to worry about. My paddles. As I run from the park, I keep hearing my sister's yelp in my head. Still, with every step, my doubts grow. Sometimes we hear what we want to hear. The animal shelter is closed, just down the street, but there's nothing quick about the trip. Water rushes past like a raging river. The sun's been swallowed by black clouds. I pick my way through muddy front yards, avoiding the worst of the water. I ain't much of a swimmer. Doesn't come up much in my line of work, though I do a passable dog paddle. The problem is my paddles. My paws are tiny. Not much to work with when you're fighting a flood. I see a couple humans with flashlights carving tunnels in the sheeting rain, but mostly the streets seem eerily abandoned, especially after the chaos of the park. The shelter is at the bottom of a slight hill. Rain's pulled outside the front door despite a pile of sodden sandbags. A police car is out front, parked at an odd angle. I find some footing on a large rock near the door. It takes me 3 slippery tries, but I manage to leap onto the topmost sandbag. I bark with all I've got. But I might as well be voiceless between the wind and the rain and the howling animals begging for escape. Inside, I pause to listen. I hear humans shouting, and I can make out what sounds like police radio chatter. But I don't hear Boss. I'm right here, right at the source. Nothing. It wasn't her bark I heard. She's dead, and I'm crazy and hearing things and drenched and shivering. And where is Julia? Where is George? Hey, little guy. The door eases open just a crack. Every bone in my body, every smart part of my doggy brain says, run. This is my animal shelter, a flooding one apparently. My sister isn't here, and I still have to find George and Julia. The door moves. Swoop. The loop comes down around my neck so fast that for a moment, I don't know what it is. It's like a cowboy's lasso, the kind in old Western movies I used to watch with Ivan. But this lasso is at the end of a long metal handle. Stay calm, buddy. The man eases me gently but firmly off the sandbags and through the door. I'm inside the big bow wow. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm inside the big bow. No, I'm inside the bow wow big house. Sorry, guys. The hound pound. The pet pokey. Oops. The return of Snickers. The man pulls me along with his lasso. I decide not to argue. We enter a small room stacked with animal-filled metal cages, and I'm assaulted by howls and hisses. The cold water on the floor sloshes as we walk, just skimming my belly. As bad as my smeller is, I instantly pick up on one instinctive odor. It's like the world's worst perfume, the kind old ladies emit, the kind people spray on their dogs to camouflage their lovely dog stink, the kind Snickers wears. I catch a glimpse of her in an upper cage. Bedraggled bow in her droopy hair. Snick, baby, fancy meeting you here, I say. You look good behind bars. Harebrain, she replies. Hey, calls a rabbit 2 cages down. Watch your language. Mac couldn't deal with you? I asked Snickers. He brought me here because he thought it would be safer. Seems he may have been mistaken, I say. Carefully grabbing my scruff, Cowboy lifts me into an upper cage. He pulls the lasso loose and shuts the barred door. I'm not happy, but it's a release to be out of my noose. Oh, great, another one? Calls a woman wearing tall rubber boots. She pauses in the doorway. I thought we were turning people away. People, yes, says Cowboy, but this pup came solo. Tick-tock, folks, says an older, ruddy-faced officer. He's holding a radio in one hand and a flashlight in the other. You are running out of time. We hear ya, but first we've got to move everybody who's lower level. Boots sighs. Last hurricane, we had 2 feet to deal with. I swear they're getting worse. Climate change, says the officer. What are you going to do with it? More than we're doing, says Boots. That much is for sure. I'll move the dogs from room 2, Cowboy offers. There are only a couple on the bottom level. We're out of cages, though. We'll have to double up. Put that little female in with the new guy, says Boots. They look like twins. I'm shivering, and it's not because I'm cold. I press my hurt nose to the metal bars. I smell something, I do. I hear something, I do. Cowboy returns, dog in arms. A bark. That bark. The door to my cage opens. Hey, I say automatically, even as my heart is already whispering the truth to me. They call me Bob. They call me Boss, says the voice. But by now I know. Of course I know. And I'm howling with joy. Boys and girls, did you hear them say, did you notice? Put that little female in with the new guy, says Boots. They look like twins. The new guy is Bob. The female is Boss. Sounds like Bob may have found his sister, as he just got brought to the animal shelter after the horrible storm that came through in the zoo. And that is a little picture here. It's cute. See all the animals there? I would say here, that's Boss and Bob. The next chapter is called Alive. We will get to that one next time. Bye, friends.